Hi, it's Andy with Mountain Computers. We just finished the letter Q. This is the letter W, okay? W, I have 20 items, okay? Today is December 30th, 2019, the last couple days before the end of the year. We're going to wrap up this series on letters that we're explaining. This is for my knowledge. This is for me sharing this to myself, my future self. And if you benefit from this information, great, but it's a historical rundown of my last 25 to 35 years of computing. So let's talk about Windows. I didn't use Windows 1.0, 2.0. I started with Windows 3.0 and Windows 3.1 at Microsoft. Prior to that, I was using Novell. I was on Macintoshes. We had WordPerfect 5.0, 5.1. But with Windows, Microsoft Windows, and all the lawsuits that was involved with Microsoft then, I think if I was to run down all the versions of Windows that I can remember, I'll be quick about it, okay? Windows 3.0, 3.1. 3.1 was really cool. After 3.1, it was 3.1.1, then Windows for Workgroups. Then I might get this out of order, so forgive me. Windows ME, Multimedia Edition. Windows ME, Windows 95, 98, 98 Second Edition. NT, Windows NT was awesome. The workstation and the server. 3.5, 3.5.1, 4.0. 4.0 was rock solid. Windows 2000. Windows 2000 server, awesome. Windows 2003 server, very awesome. Windows, did I say XP already? I can't remember. XP came in there sometime. And then after XP, did I miss any? XP was Vista. Vista was Windows 7. 8 was a mistake. 8.1 came out. They skipped 9. Now we're at 10. So that's it for Windows. So did I hit any of those? I liked Windows ME. People hated it. But I think it's because they tried to tweak it too much with the sound and audio stuff. Windows 3.51 was amazing. I was working at Microsoft when NT came out. I was working with one of my mentors, Ed. We found some big bugs at product release. That was cool. Windows 95, that was a great launch. Windows 98 Second Edition was majorly awesome. Windows 2000 Server was awesome. 2003 Server still runs on a couple businesses I know. Old style stuff. Vista, it's okay. XP, still running today. XP is still running today. Even 64-bit, okay? So, enough for W for Windows. So WAN, Wide Area Network. Okay, understand we did L for LAN, Local Area Network. That's a domain. A wide area network is everything on the outside of the LAN. Okay, so you have your LAN, you have your border edge router, and then you have the wide area network. Wide area network can be considered when you have multiple LANs and you're joining them all together. Now, if it's in a city or a large metro, we call it a MAN, Metro Area Network, that's pretty cool. So understand WAN technology. I'm not going to get into it. That's a whole separate subject on its own. War Games, great movie. I always watch it to kick back and relax. War Games. That's a great movie, War Games. Watermark. In Microsoft Word, doing watermarks was a trick. You had to use a reverse negative margin in the header or the footer and put your content in there, rotate it at a certain degree. And when you didn't have a PostScript driver, to have that embedded or added as a feature, that was interesting, watermarks. Today it's easy to do. Web everything. There's web everything. Anything starts with web something. So I won't go there. It's just too much. A web crawler. I write web crawlers today to crawl the web. Some of them are fast, some of them are slow, some of them are a little janky, some of them are really awesome, but they all read and write to a database, or they create their own file tree, and that's pretty cool. Webmail. I don't like webmail. People like webmail. Yahoo, webmail. Charter has webmail. AT&T has webmail. Everybody has a webmail portal. Gmail, very cool. There's a classic look, and then there's a new look for mobile apps. I still like the classic look. Some people, old people, like the classic look. But webmail, it does a lot of processing on the server. So it sorts your mail, puts them in, like Gmail does social, promotions, then your main inbox. Sort of cool. Spam, trash. I wish Gmail would fix it to where spam and trash weren't down too far on the left. It was more higher up, as well as all mail. Okay. Web apps. Web apps. Distributed apps and web applications. I won't go into detail about that because that's another separate subject all by itself. But if you're thinking of some, put some questions and comments down below. Web server. I do web servers like crazy. Okay. IIS. Apache. I'm pretty good with Apache, but not as good as what others are. So, unfortunately, I'm a Microsoft person. I started out with the first HTTP, like version 1.0 at Microsoft in like 1995, 96. Yeah, 96. And it was cool. Basic HTML. You could run it on an NT machine. Worked great. Whaling. Whaling. Like you're going fishing for a whale, like Jonah. What that is about is phishing targeted hackers towards CEOs and executives to where they land a big whale. And it's I've seen it happen. I've seen some of the CEOs I work with, some of the business owners get phished, wire transfers, millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, $50,000, just in a fake wire transfer from one place to another through an executive assistant to the CEO, to an investor, between banks, between firms in the United States, between Wells Fargo, between non-standard, primary banks like SunTrust, some of those in the Southeast. And it's terrible, and it's still happening today. So, whaling. I didn't know that's what it was called, but apparently that's the term. White space. Let me talk about white space for a second. I've worked on lots of Word documents, even WordPerfect documents, and they have this feature called Show All. On the keystroke, it's Control-Shift-8, Control-Shift**. That turns on the reverse paragraph marks in Microsoft Word. And then you get to see how people actually format their Word documents using the space bar and tabs rather than actually using the control formatting features. So when you see a lot of white space, you can do what's called a global replace, Control-H, and you can say find white space, $W, or ... or ... and replace that with one space. And you can do that to clean up a document pretty fast, or you can convert text documents to Word documents and clean up the tabbing and clean up all the white space. But white space sucks. I use PFE32 to do some sort of macro repeat programming cleanups on files. So understand your tools, your editors, cleaning up white space. Most people that don't know how to use a word processor, you can tell real fast. Just turn on the show all and you see crazy stuff. You're just like, oh man. They use spaces rather than the center command to put text at the center of a page. That's okay, they just don't know. So that's why we have classes, teach people how to turn on the show all, show how to use hanging indents, centering, left, right, etc. Okay? Wi-Fi extenders. Those suck, don't buy them. I think the coolest thing when it comes to Wi-Fi, or even wired networks, is the AC adapter extenders, to where you can take an AC adapter that has an RJ45 connection at gigabit speed and put it on one side of your house, as long as it's on this side of the same side of the service panel, and not run wires around the house. Just put one adapter in the front of your store or house and put one in the back, and that's basically a bridge between your power, to get rid of that long home run cable. So that's pretty cool. WinImage. That was a cool utility used to read and write, create disk images. Floppy disk images, 3.5, 5.25, CDs, whatever. So WinImage, very cool utility. You need to know how to create ISO images, extract ISO images, modify them, etc. So WinWord. That was the Windows logo R run command. You type in WinWord and launch Word just by pressing enter. You don't have to go and find the icon or go and find the program. Just Windows logo R, type in WinWord, that's short for Word for Windows, and press enter and go. Doesn't work for the online edition though, that sucks. And it doesn't work for the basic edition. Wireless, WISP, and WinNT. A WISP is a wireless internet service provider. We have some great ones around here in Washoe County. We have Highlands Wireless, which is Preferred Networks. That's John and Todd and them. And then out in Winnemucca, you have Rich with the on-ramp. So wireless, we had one from Great Basin Internet Services, a guy named Andrew. I can't remember, it's Andrew Wolf. He went down to, I think the Yerington, Douglas County area and did a WISP. I don't know if they're still running or not, but that was a long time ago. That was 20 years ago. But wireless internet service providers are great if you can get the right price, get the right bandwidth, and their uptime. So around here in Reno, we're bouncing off of certain buildings like GSR, Silver Legacy, Rattlesnake Mountain. I don't think Mount Rose or Peavine, but wireless internet service providers usually are line of sight within a couple miles, 2.5, 3 miles. And they're not really, they use this octagonal formula, octagonal frequency, octagonal format for broadcasting wireless, to where if it's snowing, it actually works better in weather than it does in clear weather, which is pretty amazing. So anyhow, that's all for W. This is Andy from Mountain Computers. Only got, one more letter? No, 2 more letters. And that's it. So like, subscribe, and share, and there's more to come. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.